check that. Alright, yep.
This'll work. Mechanic ground, Mooney 1137 Zulu here at the north hangars. Ready to taxi with the numbers will be VFR to the east.
Mooney 1137 Zulu, mechanic ground, roger, runway 18 taxi, Alpha Alpha 1, Bravo Bravo 1. The wind is 110 at 13, gust 20, altimeter 2985.
Okay, 18 Alpha Alpha 1, Bravo Bravo 1, 1137 Zulu. Alright, so out there and make a left.
Alright. So run up, brake set, fuel, proper tank. Still on the right tank.
Yep.
Electric trim / autopilot.
Yep, we can do autopilot, just test. You got to test for it to work. It'll beep here. And then it'll say that'll go steady. Now it goes off. Perfect. Okay. Done.
Okay.
Flight controls.
Flight controls. Up now. Up now. You can't really see the elevator, but I'm sure it's there. There's one side of the elevator at least. That's about it for
That's your travel. That's what I was talking about. It's very short.
Yeah. Okay. So flight controls, trim was set, and yeah, I can't see anything else.
Okay.
I'm used to wiggling tails and all that fun stuff. Speed brakes cycle.
Yep, we don't have speed brakes, so scratch that one.
Okay. Instruments, we're still set 2985. We're still 6.5. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Annunciator lights in here is this test, so all these will come out on, except for the fuel. I guess they don't come on anymore.
And your start power. Okay. Mixture, best power.
Yep.
So that's full rich.
Right.
2,000 RPMs.
Okay. There you go, mag check.
Right, 2,000 mag check, checking right mag.
Okay.
Hey, bolt.
Then back to left. And you'll see this gives you an indicator mag on there, so good.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Both, alright.
Prop, so just pull out, wait for a drop, go back in. So
right.
Out.
There's not like a certain distance I shouldn't travel?
No, you just pull it out, back in. Do it one more time, then back in. You just don't want it to drop more than about 400, 500 RPM.
Okay.
So one more time, and back in. And if you notice oil pressure drops a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, vacuum pump.
Yep, so everything's right in here.
Yep.
Amp's good, all good, oil pressure, everything's in the green, so you can pull the power back to idle.
Okay.
Ideally, you just don't want it out here running 2,000 RPM.
Right.
I'm going to push that throttle back in a little bit. There you go.
Alright. And friction lock adjusted.
Yep. And the friction lock is this here, so I don't know if you need to adjust that or not. But
that seems pretty good. Pre-takeoff flaps 15.
Yep, so just push, in this airplane, just push and hold till it gets in the takeoff position. So right there. Both flaps are down.
Okay. Prop high RPM.
Yep.
Mixture best power. Pitot heat.
And I am going to pull this back until we're ready.
Okay. Pitot heat as required. HI to compass. Doors and windows.
Yep, we'll get that when we get up here to the line.
Good. Speed brakes don't have any. Transponder to altitude.
Got that on.
Outstanding. Landing light on.
You can if you'd like. You don't have to turn it on yet until we get on up to the runway, but
okay.
this is the landing light.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. It's not labeled. Okay. Strobes on. Time note, brakes boost pump on.
Yep, we'll do that up here. So when we get up here, we'll mixture in, boost pump on.
Coming over to the air center.
Landing light.
Landing light. Affirmative.
All right, you can go ahead and taxi if you want. Go ahead and get on to the runway. So we're at turn on the left.
In front of the tower here for the air center. 49er Whiskey, right on Bravo 4.
And just remember, once we're taxiing out, I mean, you won't need to use the brakes or drop your heels down, and just make sure your toes are what's kind of steering the airplane. All right, it's the best way I can think of. Make sure you don't stay on the brakes.
Yeah, that's pretty stiff crosswind.
Yep. So it'll be good for you.
Oh yeah.
So however you do your crosswind, which should be like everybody else, left aileron full until we just get going, and you slowly let some of it out.
Bikini Tower 893, Juliet Alpha 172 is 10 miles southwest, like set up for the full procedure.
All right, I'll call him and see if we can get out of here as soon as he gets out of the way. And McKinney Tower, Mooney 1137 Zulu, holding short of 18 Bravo 1, ready for departure VFR East.
Leave your hand on that until there's all the way up or something I was hearing?
I will.
Okay.
I'll guard it.
337 Zulu, that Cessna lifting is in left traffic, runway 18, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 18, we'll watch for the Cessna 1137 Zulu. Alright, so window closed.
Window closed, mixture rich.
Boost pump on, put landing light on.
Have like there.
Clear, cow flaps open. Alright, so center line.
Right.
Once you pick it up, don't touch any power, everything's going to stay full. Once we get about positive rate and halfway down the runway or so, then we can pull up the gear. And I'm ready when you are.
Airspeed's 5.
More airflow through the cowling. Here, you can stick that back there if you want, or just out of your way.
There we go. 100 knots.
The idea is, no different than your Bonanza, just to keep everything cool. There's no reason to climb out.
Okay, and then cow flaps in, or?
Nope, we're going to leave them. Okay, leave them open for our climb. Here's our cylinder head temperatures here.
Okay.
Hottest one's 346. Okay. All right, let's just go on east and tell you what, just so we can go, we'll go out a little farther to the east. Go up to, 3,500. And you'll notice, and I don't think you've touched the throttle since we set it at 2,500, right? So we're at 23.5?
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about. Lose
Okay.
about an inch, 1,000 foot. So just push it back into 25. And the reason I say, oh, I'd hold it right there, because what'll happen, this is the problem with the digital gauges, you just have to get used to. It's going to be 2490, 2510, getting it right on, man, it's tough. Drives me nuts. But you just get used to it.
Okay. Sure.
Right, so once we get to 3,500,
okay.
cylinder head temperatures are pretty cool. So what I would do, I'd go ahead and push this closed.
Okay.
Okay, and then you're going to start slowly just trimming out. Now, what I would recommend, especially in a Mooney, maybe Bonanza too, go ahead and get past, before you make any prop changes, go ahead and get leveled off and start gaining some speed. Use the power that you have to get going faster.
Right.
A Mooney especially, they're not underpowered, but it will slowly build speed over time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got 200 horse, basically. And I bet your airplane's going to be very similar to that.
Okay.
So just slowly start trimming down as you need.
McKinney Tower, 73 Bravo. We'll take one more stop and go, and then we're going to be a south.
So let's set up,
73 Bravo, roger.
as you're doing that, let's set up like a 23 square power setting. So when you're reducing power, when you're going down, you're always going to do throttle first. Throttle first, then prop. It's going to be the other way around if you're going faster. You're going to go RPM up, and then that. So here's the goal. You're trying to keep your RPM over this.
Okay.
I mentioned earlier about cruising over squared. That's fine.
Right.
Depending on the power percentage, whatever you're going to do. But anytime you're adding power, I'd always add the RPM, then the manifold pressure. So just pull back your power to your throttle back to 23 inches. Okay. And again, close is good enough.
Okay.
Once you get that, then we'll pull back the prop.
Here and slow down.
Yep, so I would just turn it a little bit and wait a second. Turn it a little bit and wait a second.
I was going to say, that didn't make sense. I turned it out just a hair and it went up, and I was like,
It very well could, yep. That's what you see at this that you don't see in the other gauges.
Okay.
They're just a lot more accurate. So let's go, just put us on a heading of northeast.
Clear left and right.
I am gonna lane our fuel flow out. We'll burn 11 gallons an hour. We can get down to about 9. Yeah, you'll love. What'd you say, an EDM? Which one?
830. It's a bigger screen. Shows you everything.
Yep, you'll love that.
So it feels like there's a 2 set of buttons here for the trim.
There are. You got to activate both. So if you hit one of them, you're just not going to do it. You got to do both.
That's what I was feeling, but
Yep. And the manual one's right here. And I tend to use this one for more minute changes that I use for takeoff and landing. But if you get 2 guys up here, sometimes it's just easier to use that, especially if they're bigger guys.
well, I won't lie. I was really interested about how this flies and everything when I was sitting in the back seat. So this is nice.
I mean, we're getting, what is it, 125 knots ground speed. It's 155 knots right now. Which we've got good tailwind right now for some reason. I thought we'd have a headwind here, but we don't.
Yep.
Because the wind from the ground is coming from that way, so how we got this, I don't know.
I've been a little bit, so nose back down.
So we're in cruise flight. I mean, you can see our engine temperature is 330. It's the hottest. That's really what we care about, is the hottest one anyway.
Okay.
you know, if we'd open this back up, which there's no need to because that's plenty cool,
Right.
that's almost on the cool side of things. You want to get your temperatures up,
Right.
but you don't want them too hot. Lycoming, they say less than 500. Continental says basically less than 420, I think it is. Most people agree with Continentals. When it gets to 380, you better be doing something because you really don't want them going over 400.
Right.
Not for long, at least. Some Bonanzas have a problem. Like the Shannon makes those kits for baffles.
Right.
That really do help. But, you know, just pay attention. You'll obviously have a good engine monitor to watch that. And if you need to open your cowl flaps, you may have to. So that's pretty simple. I mean, takeoff, departure, climb, ground operations, you're always going to have these open.
Okay. And just watch them in flight for if it's too hot or not.
Yep, you're just watching your CHTs. Here we're going to talk about, because we need to do an emergency extension, what we may do is go a little bit higher. We'll go like 4,000 or 5,000. Do that just to give us plenty of room. I kind of figure we could just kind of cruise out this way. That way you could kind of look around and not do much right now and kind of figure out the airplane a little bit and whatever you need to. Plus we get you a little more time to
11 miles
fly, which is always good.
Oh yeah, I always prefer the flying.
I kind of find, you know, cross countries like this, I say cross countries, just time where you can straight level fly, it kind of helps get know the airplane, kind of feel it.
Yeah.
We'll do some steep turns here in a minute, just so you can kind of feel that too.
Alright, yeah.
Again, this isn't so much about learning to fly the Mooney, it's more just the systems.
That's a 7-3 Bravo for you.
I don't want to waste your money, but you need the time anyway, so.
Yeah. No, this, I'd rather be spending the money giving it to Jason and flying this than flying a 172 and paying other people.
All right, so let's do like a transition to like more of a higher power. So let's do like a 24 inches and 2,400 RPM. Actually, let's go 2,500 RPM.
All right, 25.
So, you know, prop first, go to 25. And one thing I will do, and I leaned a while ago, but just go back in on the mixture a little bit. Just
okay.
Cherokee 5749 Whiskey Tower.
So there's your 25, and then about 2,400.
749 Whiskey, McKinney Tower.
Yes, sir. I'm at the McKinney Air Center.
And Cherokee 5749 Whiskey, McKinney Tower, runway 18, taxi via Alpha Bravo 1.
That's standard.
Wind 120 at 12, gust 20, altimeter's 29 or 84.
Trying to download, oh, no service.
18, taxi via Alpha 1, I guess. Would be
Feel a little more pull, then I gotta trim down. Now that.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You'll see your airspeed slowly, once you get it trimmed out, it'll slowly increase.
Yeah, this is way better than the Cessna.
Up to 166, yeah, just slowly build the speed.
Yeah, in the Cessna, you're hoping to maybe get 100 indicated,
right.
and you're about 110, maybe 120 with a good tailwind. Like, Jesus, yeah.
Okay, so same thing, go back to, let's do like a, I don't know, maybe a 20,
McKinney Tower 3 Juliet Alpha.
maybe 20, try 21 inches and 23 inch RPM, 2,300.
Give me a call.
21, 23.
Bird inbound.
We'll call you at Bird 3 Juliet Alpha. Stay via Bird.
Cessna 9 Tango Sierra, continue downwind. You're going to follow traffic about 3 to the northwest for touch and go.
You're continuing downwind, looking for traffic to the northwest. 9 Tango Sierra.
Sounds a little quiet. Or young, I should say.
This will be a full stop for 9 Tango Sierra.
That's 9 Tango Sierra, roger.
Premier 330 Charlie short of 8.
Premier 330 Alpha Charlie, McKinney Tower. Hold short, runway 18. I'm just waiting to hear back from approach.
1418, go.
And Premier 0 Alpha Charlie, I have you released now, sir. Runway 18, clear for takeoff.
Take off runway 18 for Jeff Charlie.
Cessna 20 Zulu, I'll be departing the Premier jet prior to your arrival. You're cleared for the touch and go, then left traffic.
Cruise coming. gonna be some heavy rain up this way.
Yeah, I'm starting to see decreased visibility and whatnot.
That's a 9 Tango Sierra.
Anyway, let's just turn to heading north.
You're going to follow is coming up off your left side there.
Roger, traffic in sight. 9 Tango Sierra.
That's 9 Tango Sierra, Roger, number 2, runway 18, and you're cleared to land.
Roger, number 2, clear to land. 9 Tango Sierra.
Yes, sir, that's fine.
I have to admit, I mainly like how smooth this feels compared to Cessna.
Cessna? Oh, they fly shitty. It's the worst flying airplane out there. And I hate saying that because I like flying them. I mean, they're not bad. But you go fly this, man, when you fly your Bonanza, dude, oh.
Yeah, that's what you, Bruce, everybody's like, oh, just wait till you fly the Bonanza.
Yeah, and this is good. This is great. That Bonanza is
0 Alpha Charlie, regional departure 124.3. Have a nice flight. 124.3, have a good day.
So say still 154 knots. Man, we're doing good today. We'll be a lot slower, obviously, going the other way, but kind of cool going this way. Let me ask you this. What's the purpose for doing clearing turns?
Check for safety and whatnot, other aircraft, see if there's anything else in the way.
Okay, what's another reason? That's one reason. What's the other one?
I mean,
and really the more important to me reason.
Taxi up to and hold short runway 18.
I do the clearing turns and do my checks to make sure everything's working right, handling properly.
So think about this. We're flying along here in this airplane, and there's other traffic out here. How easy is it to spot other traffic?
It's a lot easier when you're banked.
Exactly. So when you go wing up, it's a lot easier. So that's why you're doing it. You're not only for you to see them, but also for them to see you. So just think about that. And that's one of the reasons I try to always make sure now, especially, that clearing turns happen.
Starting to get some rain. That's cool. I've never flown in rain before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got good visibility that way. Obviously we wouldn't, but this way we do. We can see. And
now, in a fixed pitch and whatnot, like you'll start having the engine decrease performance and a little bit of RPM drop once you get to, you know, that, oh, lightning.
Yeah, lightning, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be off to the left here on my app, I can see.
That's a 9 Tango Sierra.
So, yeah, you're going to get the same thing here. You're still going to get a drop in RPM and power. Okay. That's what we got, and I don't know if you heard it a while ago, but I did, and that's why I richened it up a little bit.
Runway 18, clear for takeoff. What's your direction of flight?
But again, cylinder head temperature is good.
All right. And about how far difference will you go on your fuel?
What do you mean?
Like I know you don't want to run, you know, down to like 2 gallons on the right tank and then be unbalanced. So what's your differential?
Each airplane's going to kind of have what their requirement is. What I would say when we get down to 10 gallons, let's switch to the left tank. Okay. And we'll probably just burn it for the rest of the flight. You typically, I mean, I'd keep them somewhere within 10, 15 gallons of each other.
Okay. Yeah, I know on the C40, you know, obviously it's a very big deal.
Cessna 20 Zulu, clear for touch and go.
Clear, touch and go, 20 Zulu, thanks.
All right, so let's do a climb. Okay. And we'll go a little higher, so go up around 5,000, I guess. We're at 35,000 to 15. Yeah, let's go up to 5,000 feet.
Okay.
Cherokee 490,
5,500, just to make it VFR. So the way you want to do that is just start on the side, basically.
Okay.
Mixture in. You don't have to go all the way in because we're already at 3,500 feet.
Okay.
But I'd go in probably half again what that distance is.
Okay.
Somewhere in there is fine. Prop up to 25. and then manifold pressure up to 25. Or, depending on how high you are, it may be full throttle, but let's see what we get. 25 is good. So 25 squared. And then climb to 55, and then let's turn to heading us south.
Okay. 25.
This is where you're going to watch the CHTs.
49 wish.
If they start getting warm, we'll open the cow flaps. If they don't,
departure
we're good.
124.3. Have a nice flight.
49 whiskey.
And we can do a kind of a cruise climb, but 100 knots is fine.
Good day, thank you.
Good day, sir.
Then south whenever you're ready. Right or left, doesn't matter. You working on your instrument rating yet?
I was gonna start hopefully with Bonanza, but it's turning into I'm gonna start sooner. I was finishing up the ground instructor training and then.
Kitty Tower, Skyhawk 95200 going around.
20 Zulu, when speeding altitude from edging starts crosswind.
We'll start the crosswind here in a second. Thank you, 200.
All I'm doing is leaning it because CHTs are good, EGTs are pretty low, and we're almost 5,000 feet, so you don't have to be full ridge.
Okay.
The leaning part I'm not so concerned with. Three systems is all I really care about. The rest of it's just flying an airplane. Yeah, I was hoping I could get a signal, but I think we're probably high enough where I won't be able to get it now.
Fly closer to Dallas, you probably can.
Yeah, normally, it just depends, man. Sometimes I got signal on up to like 7,000, but used to it was about 3, and for whatever reason it went up to about 5,000 for a little while. And you get much over 3 now, it's tough to get a signal, at least down here. So, kind of notice how manifold pressures drop. That's the big thing, when you climb, is to remember you got to push in on your throttle as we go up. And what you'll notice is we're going to get to a point that should be around here where we can go full throttle and just be at 25. Okay, well, we're not even getting full throttle and 24. There you go. Yeah. So that's kind of why I wanted to climb on up, that way you could see it.
Okay.
So your most efficient setting is going to be here with the throttle just back just a little bit.
Okay.
So now we're at 55. You could bring your prop back to say 24. There you go. Or we'll leave the manifold pressure wide open or throttle wide open, manifold pressure whatever we can get, and then RPM at 24. That's close enough. So this airplane is a really good cruise setting.
And 95200.
And again, consult your book, see whatever.
We're going to be touch and go if permissible.
See how we leveled off 350 on the temperature,
right.
And we didn't open the cow flaps? That's plenty fine. You don't, just because you climb doesn't mean you have to open your cow flaps.
Touch and go.
Clear touch and go, 200, thanks.
So we'll lean again. Get our fuel flows back down.
Tower 3 Juliet Alpha is bird inbound.
That's 3 Juliet Alpha, your intentions.
I'd like to go mid, at or as close to Willem as possible, then we'll self-vector for the RNAV 18.
So this side button over here, that's a
report on your missed approach east of the runway.
Yes.
Report on missed approach east of the runway, 3 Juliet Alpha.
Coming on back down.
Do what?
Full throttle and everything else, we still wanted to go up.
Oh yeah, this airplane they want to climb. Once you get kind of trimmed out and we're kind of level 55, we'll look at the gear, do a emergency gear extension. But go ahead and pull your power. Let's just pull your manifold pressure back to like 21 inches. Let's just get below, well below the 130, so somewhere around 120. So say maybe 21. That'll help you descend too.
20 Zulu, give me right traffic dispatch.
Right traffic, 20 Zulu.
That should work. We'll see what airspeed that gives us. This airplane too, and you'll find kind of the same thing with your Bonanza. You know, there's not a whole lot of drag. They did well design, so it takes some pretty big power reductions to slow down.
Yeah. Not like the Cessna that you can pull out power, drop some flaps, and put it sideways and drop 1,000 feet real fast.
Yep.
Although I have to admit, that's fun sometimes.
McKinney Tower, Skyhawk 9520 Zulu. We're going to be departing back to Addison after this one.
We got the SIU flying Salukis.
First touch.
They do their competition for spot landings and everything, and one time I hopped in pattern with them, just coming in back
the
from a flight.
northeast of the field, but he's not going to come
It was funny, I showed him up on
And we've got him in sight actually for 20 Zulu.
because they don't even talk to tower, they just take over 18 right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fine, I'll just hop in on this pattern.
All right, so once we get to 120, what I want to do, before we do an emergency gear extension,
Okay.
actually no, let's do it in this direction. Let's use the gear switch just to put the gear down. Don't trim anything, just so you can see the difference. And this is the big thing. Try 20 inches, that way we're somewhere around 120 knots.
Yeah,
That's what I'm kind of looking for.
Roger, maintain VFR, just give me a call to final approach, fix inbound on the GPS approach.
We'll call you final inbound.
I'll just maintain that 55. That should put us somewhere around 120.
Yeah, there you go. Make sure the nose stays up and everything.
Yep. Trim's your friend.
Oh yeah.
Go back more to a heading of south. Yeah, the idea is here, just the reason I say south, and just take an altitude, that way when you do the gear extension, the goal is to stay on that heading and stay at that altitude.
Okay.
Okay, so we're really right there at 120, a little below. So go ahead, we're below the gear speed, so you can go ahead and drop the gear down. Again, don't trim, but I want you to see what happens. So go ahead and... Okay. Got to pitch up. Gears down, you fill it, and then gear down.
Okay.
Okay, so now, if you don't retrim, but we'll slow down, and we'll see what airspeed we get. As we slowed down, if you don't change anything, we're going to start a slow descent down, right?
Right.
That's the piece you need to know, especially when it comes to shooting an ILS or any precision approach. So we're going to drop probably 200 or 300 foot a minute now. But you know, these Moonies, you kind of feel the gear when it locks out.
Yeah.
Some airplanes you really don't. Your Bonanza, you really won't feel it. You just have to go by the indication.
Yeah, and mine still has the crappy little lights there, and I'm
Yep.
changing that to nice gear indicators.
Yeah.
It's nice being an engineer sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. So right now, we didn't change anything. We went from 120 knots down to about, what was that, 95 right now?
Yeah.
So the good thing about that is it's how the military flies with pack charts, and it's like IFR or flying by the numbers. So each configuration is going to give you a set airspeed every time. If you set, 20 inches of manifold pressure, 2,400 RPM, gear down, flaps at wherever they are, you're going to get the same airspeed every time.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and gear back up.
Gear up.
Okay, gears up.
Okay.
You look right here, there's a window,
Right.
the little X's there, or the,
Yep.
whatever those are called.
Hazard
Not
markings or
chevrons,
whatever.
yeah. It's green, I'll show you that here in a minute when we do the emergency gear, but stay at 55, and let's do a manual gear extension. So immediately we went up to about, what, 110?
Yeah.
105, whatever it says.
110. Ish.
So when we get to 55, let me go ahead and pull the gear if I can find it.
Gear relay? Gear actuator?
Should be this one. Oh, maybe it's that. Shit. Which one did we do?
Cessna 20 Zulu, when able, squawk 0440.
0440 on the back.
Alright, we're below that. There we go.
Alright.
Okay, so the way we're going to practice this, gears down, pull this first, then we put the gear down. So the gear thinks it's down, just doesn't know. So, this is the fun part for you. There's your gear down. So you push this forward, comes up. See that? Just push that forward, comes up, and then you're going to pull on this.
Okay.
So while maintaining altitude and heading, and looking for traffic and all that.
Oh yeah.
20 Zulu, it's quiet.
And this is somewhat similar to your Bonanza, except you're behind the seat, cranking.
Yeah, doing this thing.
Yep, so release the handle. So just slide that forward, there you go. That'll slide up. Okay, and then start pulling that.
Oh, gee.
See right here, gear unsafe?
Ah.
So keep going. This is where I wish we had the video.
Yeah. Hopefully it's still going. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
I don't know which is going to be worse, this or sitting there cranking.
Yeah, if you have a passenger in the back, obviously use what you have. So if I had a passenger, I'd be saying, hey, here, pull this, do this motion.
All right, yep.
Okay.
That's stuck.
And it's down, so you can go ahead and push that. All right, so we got a gear down and gears down. Very simple.
Outstanding.
So really, that's not bad. I mean, there's not all that many.
No.
So we got gear down, pushing the circuit breakers.
All right.
You got C in the floor. See the sort of green? It's tough because it's old. But all right, go ahead and put your gear up.
Gear up.
Gear up and verify there. That's it.
Outstanding.
And that is it. So very simple. That's the big thing to know how. If you're ever out practicing in your Bonanza, let's go ahead and make a left turn. All right. Whenever you're ready. If you ever in that, just make sure you pop the circuit breaker just like you did on the, just like you did on the ground. If the Pat Master's on. Right. So, not a big deal. This'll work. I forgot about these storms over there. We won't be able to go this direction too far. Okay, so let's do, let's see. Let's do some slow flight.
All right.
So let me just go back in a little bit. So just, reduce power. Go ahead and put your prop in to about 2,500 RPM. One thing I would just kind of try to do is always use the vernier on the prop. Okay. Unless you're on the ground and nothing's running, because of what just happened. If when you do that, it goes up to like 2,600 or so. I mean, it's just 1/2 turn. Let's see what it does. 1,000 RPM. Yeah. Or 100 RPM, I mean. Yeah. So I would always, and that's as much as you're going to use it. In your airplane, you're going to have a climb, and you're going to have a cruise, and you're going to have a lower cruise. That's what you're going to have. So that's all you're going to really be messing with your prop. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and pull the power on out. We'll do main configuration, slow flight. Okay.
What would you like it at?
Oh, yeah, I can go ahead and pull it on back to like 13, wherever the gear warning horn's not going off. Actually, you need to see that anyway. Go ahead and pull it on back. Okay, that'll work. Maybe a little bit in. Go back to about 11 or 12. Okay, so what this airplane is not doing, and this is interesting, you ought to hear a gear warning right now because the gear's not, it's up and your throttle's out. Normally about 13 inches, 12 or 13, I think it's 13, is where the gear warning horn. I need to tell Jason his isn't working. I thought I heard it beep. I heard it, and then it went away.
It did go, and then that was it.
It should be blaring right now. You should hear a warning horn going off that says basically your throttle's out, so we must be landing, and you don't have your gear down.
That's what I saw on mine too. Yeah.
So maintain 55. So we'll go ahead and slow down. I just do some slow flight.
I saw it on the throttle out there in the engine. There's that little switch, and I was like,
"Yep,
really? That's how we're gonna do it."
Do what you need to do. Just get back to 55, and then still slow down if you want to add some power, so we don't get too slow. And I can't see his green arc. I think it's 60 something.
A little above 60, just shy of 60.
Let's just use 70. We don't have to get super slow. Let's use 70 knots. And just maintain 55.
It's actually pretty fun too. This is the first low wing.
Oh, really?
Yep.
70 knots, then just maintain. What you're going to find as you gain experience, it'll be a lot easier. You can just set a power setting and it'll just fly itself. And then when I did my commercial in this airplane, I forgot what the numbers are, but I mean, I can fly it hands off and slow flight.
Really?
Really cool. This airplane, yours as well, will make check rides easy. Just because they fly so nice. And here, you know, again, I'm a big stickler on trim. Use the trim. Use your feet on the rudders and use trim. Keep the ball centered.
Yep.
And don't work too hard because you don't have to. When you get stabilized at 70 and 5,500 feet, give me, I'll do a 90-degree turn to the right, so heading south. And it's slow. I mean, remember, anytime you're in slow flight, everything is slow, so turns included. Nothing's happening fast.
All right. And by slow, 100 knots, you know, yeah.
Well, I just mean your turn, your movements. You won't crank the aileron over for obvious reasons. We use really more rudder in a slow flight turn than aileron.
And we're still reverse command and whatnot, right? Even though it's doing all that fun stuff. Yeah, I got pretty good with 737 Sierra Yankee Cessna. That the check ride was pretty much like, okay, whatever you need next. Even the check airman was like, yeah, your instructor did a really good job. I was like, thank you.
McKinney Tower 3 Juliet Alpha, is that Cody inbound?
No, it wasn't him, it was me.
Departure to the southeast.
I'm just a good pilot, see.
Yeah.
That's 3 Juliet Alpha, runway 18, clear.
Instructor? I didn't have an instructor, what's that?
Oh, I was supposed to pay for that?
For the option 18, southeast on the go, 3 Juliet Alpha, thank you.
Well, nice. I mean, the right turn's obviously harder than the left turn, right? Which is why if we can do that one, we can probably do a left one. So go ahead and do a left. Let's see how. Yep. So 70 works about right because now you don't want the stall warning horn going off. You want to be about 5 knots faster.
Right.
Go back to east and yeah, easy it makes it with this airplane. They just fly so good. A Cessna just, you can do that, but not as well as this. All right, so to what I want to do is do a stall recovery, do a stall, full stall, let it break, let the nose drop, but we're not going to go full power. And I just want to show you if you've never done this, that you don't have to go full power every time. If you're low to the ground, definitely full power, right? So everything you'd cram in. But what I want you to do is you can leave the power where it's at and just slowly pull the nose up. And then once it breaks, let the nose go down. Make sure you're coordinated, because if you're coordinated, you're not going to spin. Right. So that's important. Let the nose drop and then just fly out of it. Okay. So just pull back till it breaks and then shove the nose down. All right. Don't forget, right? Yep. There you go. Nose down. You can go in with the power a little bit. And keep on pushing that nose down. What you're going to see is now we're speeding up. Our altitude's still dropping. You can go ahead and go in, you know, maybe 22 inches or so, and we'll be able to maintain 5,500. We really didn't lose 100 feet, and we didn't add full power. All right. So that's kind of, I like that, because the goal is not to lose much. Well, guess what? Especially in Moonies, you don't have to add a lot of power to get your airspeed back. Yeah. I mean, that was a full brake stall. That wing wanted to drop a little bit. Yeah. But maybe a little bit more right rudder, we would have stopped that. It's tough, but you did good. Right. So, I mean, you know, that kind of stuff. So let's do one of those with the gear and flaps out this time. Okay. Do like an approach, the landing stall. Go ahead and get your gear out. All right. To help us slow down. There. Once it's out, you can put in about half flaps. So just before takeoff there? Or? All the way, yeah, to take off. There you go. When you get to about 80, I'd go ahead and put the rest of them out. So the way I'd like to see this when we stall is you're going to go power in. I'll put this in a little bit. You're going to go power in to get the power started, but then you're going to go flaps up to take off, then gear up, and then you can do the rest of the flaps. Okay. So more right rudder. So full power, or no, well, close to full power. Flaps up to take off, and you got to hold it. There you go. Now keep that, watch your airspeed because it should be climbing, then gear up. Oh. Well then.
Traffic not available.
And then flaps the rest of the way up. So, you know, almost full power when you're doing that. Immediately flaps up to half, and then once you get a good positive rate, then gear up. Okay. And so what that's kind of simulating is if you're over the runway, you don't want to put the gear up first, because if you start putting the gear up and then you put flaps up, you might settle back down and hit the ground. Right? So I'd wait till you get a good positive rate, then gear up.
Wind is 12011, altimeter 2982.
What happened to this thing?
It just pulled off there. Yeah. It's like, I have a gear handle, fantastic. Does not help at all. Back now.
Alright, so let's see. Dang it, I was hoping I could download that, but that's not going to happen. Oh well.
Well, it says it's rated for an hour and 40 minutes on a full charge, and it was well over half, so we should at least have had that.
Yeah, we're at an hour right now since we fired the engine. But we're good with all this. We've talked about the cow flaps. Right. When do you open that?
When your temperatures start getting hot, so ground operations, right?
Yep.
Take off.
And take off. So we're good there. Gear, we've done the manual extension. That's, I mean, really all we need to do. Obviously yours is going to be different. You'll want to practice that when you do yours on the ground and in the air. I do it on the ground first, but you've already done that.
Yeah.
So go ahead and go back to the other direction, back to the east, west. And you're clear right. And let's go back and we'll do a landing of basically a full stop taxi back. Okay. Do one more takeoff, kind of run through everything, and one landing, and really it should be it for now. You can switch to the left tank when you want.
I'll wait till we're level.
Okay.
Alright. Left tank. And we're still good.
Okay.
Now,
Oh,